If you're looking for the best gaming monitor for PS5, you'll want a display that can take advantage of all of the PS5's features. The console supports 4K content up to 120 FPS with HDMI 2.1 bandwidth, so you'll want to look for the best 4K monitor for PS5, with HDMI 2.1 bandwidth for the best compatibility with the console. You can also get 1440p or 1080p displays for cheaper, as the PS5 now supports 1440p. It also supports the HDMI Forum Variable Refresh Rate feature, VRR, to reduce screen tearing. But only high-end HDMI 2.1 monitors support that. We've bought and tested more than 265 monitors, and below are our recommendations for the best gaming monitors for PS5 that you can buy. Also, see our recommendations for the best 4K monitors, the best monitors for PS4, and the best 120Hz monitors. Are you looking for the best keyword? In this video, we will look at some of the best keyword on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Samsung Odyssey Neo G7 S32B G75. The Samsung Odyssey Neo G7 S32B G75 is the best monitor for PS5 that we've tested. It's a fantastic gaming monitor with low input lag and an excellent response time, ensuring a smooth and responsive gaming experience. The PS5 can't take full advantage of its fast 165Hz refresh rate, but with its HDMI 2.1 bandwidth, you can play 4K games up to 120 FPS on the PS5 without issue. When gaming at 120 Hz, this monitor delivers a fantastic gaming experience, with almost no noticeable blur in busy scenes and incredibly low input lag. Its variable refresh rate, VRR, support also works with the PS5 to reduce screen tearing. The standout feature of this monitor is its impressive mini LED backlighting and high contrast ratio, so your games look excellent in dark rooms. HDR content looks great, as the decent full-array local dimming system helps it deliver bright highlights right next to deep blacks, with very little blooming around bright objects. If you also want something versatile for PC gaming, the Samsung Odyssey Neo G8 S32B G85 is a similar monitor with a 240Hz refresh rate, but the PS5 can't take full advantage of that refresh rate, and it costs more than the Neo G7. Number 2. Sony INZONE M9. If you want to save some money and still want a high-end option, check out the Sony INZONE M9. You don't get the same remarkable picture quality as the Samsung Odyssey Neo G7 S32B G75, as it lacks mini LED backlighting and has a lower contrast ratio. However, it still has an alright full-array local dimming feature, if you want to use it for darkroom gaming. Regardless, what makes this great for the PS5 is that it's a Sony product with a few features that only the PS5 can use, like auto HDR tone mapping, which optimizes the HDR performance and settings based on the game. Even its design shares similarities with the PS5, meaning it'll look great on your desk next to the console. In terms of gaming performance, it has a great response time at 120 Hz, and it's quick at 60 Hz for great motion handling. It has low input lag for a responsive feel, and VRR support to reduce screen tearing. As expected, it works without issue with the PS5, as it has 2 ports with HDMI 2.1 bandwidth for high frame rate gaming on the console, and it has a few USB ports to charge your devices while you're gaming. Number 3. Gigabyte M32U. If you want a mid-range monitor for cheaper, consider the Gigabyte M32U. It doesn't have the same proprietary features as the Sony INZONE M9, like auto HDR tone mapping, and it has a worse edge-lit local dimming feature. But that's normal if you want to get something cheaper, as you have to sacrifice the picture quality. Still, it's excellent with a fast response time when gaming at 120 Hz. It means your favorite games look crystal clear with very little blur behind fast-moving objects. It also has low input lag, ensuring a responsive gaming experience. It's fully compatible with everything the PS5 offers, supporting up to 4K at 120 Hz gaming, thanks to its HDMI 2.1 bandwidth. It has wide viewing angles, so you can easily share your screen with someone else. And the stand has a good range of ergonomic adjustments. It looks good in bright rooms, with good peak brightness and decent reflection handling. The 32-inch screen offers an immersive gaming experience. However, if you prefer something smaller, the Gigabyte M28U is a similar alternative that costs less. That said, it doesn't get as bright and has worse ergonomics. Number 4. LG M27Q. If you still find the Gigabyte M32U too expensive and want to save money, the LG M27Q is a good choice in the lower mid-range price category. As you go down in price, you also lose out on features that higher-end monitors have. The 27Q has a lower 1440p resolution, so images aren't as sharp, and it also has a smaller 27-inch screen. Luckily, it downscales 4K images from the PS5, resulting in a sharper image than a native 1440p signal. But you're limited to a 60Hz refresh rate with 4K signals, because it doesn't support HDMI 2.1 bandwidth for 4K at 120Hz gaming. Unfortunately, it doesn't support HDMI Forum VRR, which is the VRR format that the PS5 uses, so you'll see screen tearing in some games. But most 1440p monitors don't support HDMI Forum VRR anyways. Besides that, you still get excellent gaming performance, as motion looks incredibly smooth, even with low frame rate signals, and it has low input lag for a responsive gaming experience. If you want a bigger screen, the LG 32Q is a 32-inch alternative that performs similarly, but can be harder to find. Still, you can get whichever size you prefer. Number 5. Gigabyte M27Q. If you want a monitor for your PS5 and are on a budget, consider the Gigabyte M27Q. It's similar to the LG 27Q, as it also has a 27-inch screen and 1440p resolution, but it costs less and is a step down in gaming performance. The biggest trade-off is the slower response time. But while you'll see more motion blur than with the LG, the overall response time is still great. It also has a backlight strobing feature to try to improve the appearance of motion, but you can't use it with 60 FPS games, and there's image duplication. Besides that, it works as expected with the PS5, with support for 1080p and 1440p games at 120Hz and 4K games at 60Hz, but without HDMI 2.1 bandwidth. You can't play 4K at 120Hz games, and VRR doesn't work. It offers impressive gaming performance with low input lag and a few extra gaming features. It has different crosshairs available that you can use to give you a competitive advantage in FPS games, and it also has a black equalizer mode that makes it easier to see your opponents in dark areas. Number 6. Acer Nitro X-F243Y Pbmiiprx. If you're looking for the best PS5 monitor at a cheap price, the Acer Nitro X-F243Y Pbmiiprx is a good alternative to the Gigabyte M27Q. The main difference is that it has a lower 1080p resolution, meaning images aren't as sharp, but it still accepts 1440p or 4K signals. It has similar motion handling to the M27Q with a quick response time at 120Hz, and it's also good at 60Hz, with the VRR disabled, which is fine, considering the VRR support doesn't work with the PS5, so you'll get a fast response time regardless. It also has low input lag for a responsive feel. It works without issue with the console, as it downscales a 4K image, but as expected, it doesn't support 4K at 120Hz gaming. Despite its low cost, it's well built and has remarkable ergonomics, making it easy to adjust if you want to share the screen with someone else. And the wide viewing angles ensure the image remains accurate from the sides. It also gets bright enough to fight glare if you want to use it in a well-lit room.